Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Bordercraft, where in between these two episodes I got a little bit of a present done. A little bit of extra technical work done, and maybe I can get some more building done today than I did on the last episode. Alright, so in between these two episodes, I've made a gold farm here. Naitoin got the magma blocks for it. And all you gotta do to start it, right now it's not the best system to start it, but you just shoot one of them and then they come over here and then you'll see the world border starts going up. So what I have is I've got some item filters here and it goes through into there, and then the nuggets and ingots are saved, but the swords, the flesh, and any armor, I don't know if they even can wear armor now that I think of it. I don't think they can. But basically any items they drop that aren't those will get shot through there and then drop down to the ground. I should put lava underneath, but it's whatever. And that's basically just because if it doesn't get sucked up by the well for whatever reason, it'll never get sucked up by the well. Whatever it is. Right now they drop zombified piglin heads due to the data pack, the more mob heads data pack that we have from xisumavoids vanillatweaks. So they drop those, and those can't get filtered by the well, although I'm going to probably incorporate that in the next update. Not specifically the zombified piglin heads, but all the heads from that are actually player head if you look at that tag. So I can actually detect a player head and say give it 48 or 64 BP or something like that. Not anything too small, but not anything too big either. But if you look at the bar at the top there, you can see that just by standing here, it's ticking up every now and then. And this is like a decent AFK farm, so it's going to go up. It's already gone up, actually, I think 4 times from us sitting here at the gold farm. And it's going to get slower over time as the BP becomes less and less worth it. As that second number at the top there gets bigger and bigger, it's going to take longer and longer to reach the BP limit. But at the same time, this isn't really for the BP, that's just a nice byproduct, right? We're getting the XP, we're getting the gold, which is coming down here. I have the outsides being gold nuggets, and the insides being the ingots, but none of the ingots are coming through yet because they're still filling the filters up here. We wanted to add more layers, but getting magma blocks right now is kind of difficult. So, yeah, if you go down there, then it kind of like screws with this a little bit, but here we go. Yeah, that'll bring them back. I almost wonder, though, because we have 4 wither roses here, I wonder if the piglins will ever stop coming because they, like, de-aggro because we killed them all. So I'm wondering if we have to keep one in a chamber so that he can repeatedly aggro all the other ones. And then there was one more thing. All the other farms that I've done like this, normally we only have 1 hopper going through. And I noticed it clogged up really easily before. So that's why I wanted to go for the 4 zombified piglin kill chambers. That way I could fit 4 hoppers pretty easily. And then also I think it speeds the farm up a little bit just by having them a more direct path for them to get to their kill chambers. You know, I always try and throw these, and so far it hasn't been working, but let's see. Nope. One of these times it's gonna work. Like any time now, I think it's gonna work. So it's been a couple days of AFKing a little bit at that farm here or there. I think Naitoin is currently AFK at that farm. Probably has like freaking 150 or more levels right now. And so the border has been shooting way up. It's going up a little bit slowly now, like compared to what it was before. But you can see that the counter is still just kind of consistently counting up there now that we have some of these wells hooked up to the farm, and it's just shooting spare swords into there. What I want to do, though, is I want to test if this Eye of Ender works. It does not. Okay. Any time now, we should get access to the end, which is good because once we have access to the end, we can start attempting to find, like, elytra and shulkers and stuff like that. If we can get shulkers, then we're going to be sitting real pretty, but that's still quite a ways off because I think we need to get it to at least 2,200 border before we can get any amount of shulkers, like, at, like, the baseline. With the gold farm set up, I was also able to get some villager curing done, and right now I don't think we have any villagers in here, and it's kind of turning into a mess over here. It's slowly becoming more and more of a mess as I keep adding things to this. But if I come down here, you'll see we have, this is the original trading hall we have with just like a couple of like random villagers that do whatever. But then we also have a cleric and then a couple librarians there. I ran out of villagers for this bit, but the main piece is here I have a bunch of iron trades, and holy, I gotta turn down some of the sound here. Got a bunch of 1 iron for 1 emerald trades going on here. A couple of these guys here just because I'm disorganized. But yeah, we got some weapons, and we got some armor, and we got some tools. Over here we have another hall. It's a little bit smaller, but it's got the armors. And I was trying to get some decent like armor upgrades, but it's really kind of difficult to get them. So I think I'm just gonna work with what we have here for now, and then I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna start getting all the enchants, and then we can just like enchant the diamond armor to whatever we want. And as for exploration in between episodes, we found some horses, so I've started breeding some, and the ones in armor here are the ones that... Nope. The ones in armor here are the ones that... where's the one in... So, oh, yeah, there he is. These are the ones that are the best, at least as of right now. The ones in leather armor have been tested, but they aren't as good as one of these two. These other ones are like newly bred horses, right? So, anyways, so we got the horses, and then over there we actually discovered a woodland mansion, which I'll probably be going through on stream before the end of this episode, so I'll let you know when that happens. For the next round of exploration, I'll make sure to do that on stream, just so you guys can get like a layout of the world here. But in the meantime, I've got these 6 wither skeleton skulls that I've been sitting on for quite a while now, since last episode for you guys, probably for a couple weeks for me. So I'd like to get some withers and get their nether stars. But the reason I've been kind of procrastinating it is because I don't just want to kill the withers and get their nether stars. I would like to get wither roses out of them too. So what I did is I got some eggs collected from that chicken farm over there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to make a pit, and I'm going to throw a bunch of eggs into it, spawn some chickens, breed the chickens once or twice, and then I'll be able to get a bunch of wither roses from them, hopefully. Not too many, not anything like a wither rose farm, but it'll be enough to set up a couple of farms of my own. Alright, so here's the general plan. I'm going to dig a pretty long tunnel here, just across where I've already dug. And then I'm going to dig out a small pit for the chickens, and then I'll see you then. Alright, so I put all the eggs that I had on me down here. So now the plan is I'm just going to count like 10 blocks this way, so let's go to around here. Because if you stay too close to the wither, you'll die. But I'm going to summon him. I'm going to make sure that I have my blocks and stuff on me. I'm going to eat a saturation suspicious stew real quick. Let's start the wither spawn. As soon as he explodes, I have to run in there, and then I'll pick up the wither roses, and that'll be it. Okay, and then just in case, I'll eat another saturation suspicious stew, but I should be good now to fight the wither. And I'm not gonna do any honorable kind of fight here. I'm just gonna spam him with a bow until he dies. And I think you have to switch to a sword. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long time since I fought the wither. So, yeah. I ain't taking no chances here. I'll switch to another suspicious stew here. Suspicious stew, if you didn't know, the saturation stew has some insane regenerative properties to it. Alright, so we got 55 wither roses out of that. That's pretty good. I would say so anyways. I dug the tunnel way bigger than I ended up needing to, but that's okay. But yeah, now we got a nether star. I've got 3 more, just in case. I don't know if I want to get that wither killed just yet. I'm gonna light this up just so mobs don't spawn down here or anything. But I think I'm going to leave the other 3 for now, unless I have a use for a second beacon, because these 55 wither roses will be good enough for now. Let's go. Alright, so the first thing I want to do building-wise is I want to finish up this terraforming project here. It's just a small project, really, but I want to raise this bit here so that I can make a better structure here that's more visible from down there. And I would also like to cover this in some gravelly stuff. And for now, I'm going to start with just covering it all in gravel, and then I'm going to start mixing in some andesite and then maybe some ores. And we'll see where it starts to go. I want to get a template of, basically, I want to get a template of gravel covering this place right now. Okay, so this is finished for now. I think it's doing all right. I'm not sure how I feel about it, especially this part here. I kind of raised up the mountain so that, or the hill here, so that I can potentially raise this up higher in the future. But I think for now I'm just going to leave it like this just because I can't really think of what I want to do with this. But there's kind of a problem here, and it's that I keep trying to do things on the server, and then I keep getting distracted, and then I end up doing like maybe a stream or something, and then the world progresses much faster. So I haven't recorded in quite a while here. You can see the border is up to 3118. That is quite large compared to what it started at this episode, and that's all thanks to the gold farm. You can see over there, I've begun work on a creeper farm. And this raises another issue of, so I've kind of like thrown all of my farms over here because I'm like, okay, the farms are going to be ugly, and I want to try and make at least like this area be nice. And then over here I can like kind of throw all the ugly stuff together, throw all the farms down, and hopefully it'll be fine. So I've got the iron farm there. I've got the villager breeder here, which I've been curing villagers. I had a little escape, so I had to wrangle as many of them back together as I could. And I've been working on this villager trading hall. I think these first couple guys aren't actually cured much, but I've got quite a few different guys, some good diamond armor trades and stuff like that. That's why the server has some good gear now, is because we've got some pretty cheap trades here. But something else that's happened recently is a new little shack. And this shack here is kind of like, so I was really tired when I made this. I don't like it necessarily. It's not the worst. It's not the best either. But the idea is that I'll put stuff into these barrels, and then they'll get taken out from hoppers underneath and put into a super smelter that's going to be somewhere underground around here. And so the hope is that I'll hook up the mines directly to this super smelter, and then I'll have another building right around here that I can put all the stored ores in or something like that. I have a temporary little storage solution right here just with a bunch of item frames, just because I'm really trying to keep organized as opposed to like every other server. I'm always super disorganized, so I'm really trying to focus on that. But I've got this beacon over here because I've been kind of doing some deforestation here, so we could get, you know, some nice area for this village that we're going to be building over here. And yeah, you can see the amount of wood we got is pretty high. This is from another trip I took on stream because I wanted to get some materials for that. But got quite a bit of dark oak, quite a bit of jungle logs, and birch logs and oak logs. And then we also have been collecting leaves because I figure I will be using quite a bit of leaves to make things look a little bit more green, a little bit more natural, and to give some more life to this town that I'm going to be making here. Hopefully with Lexi. I still don't know if she wants to build more houses. I keep trying to get her to, and then she keeps saying no. So, we'll see. And just on the other side of the hill here, we've got Lexi's deforestation project. She's trying to build an animal sanctuary, so she'll be building that down here. And just over to the side, and this is kind of unfortunate. So I feel like we're kind of like hitting like a balance on this world, or a sad balance in my opinion. farms are kind of ugly, and it's really hard to make them look not ugly. And one especially that's going to be very ugly is going to be the drown farm, which I'm going to build right here. So we found this river, and everything inside this leaf structure here, so all of this is a river. And so I can turn this into one big drown farm that instead of having to follow the path of the river, I can actually make basically a square that can spawn drown, and then, well, it'll be much simpler and nicer than following a thin river all the way around with its bends and stuff, and it's very inconsistent. It's very difficult to make those and time consuming. So this will be much, much easier, and I'll probably build a bunch of different chunks, but I can't do that yet because a drown farm, a fully automatic drown farm anyways, takes a lot of resources to build that we don't have yet. The first of those things that we're missing is gunpowder, hence the gunpowder farm that I've been building. It's lit up right now. I'm just using trapdoors, iron trapdoors, because wood is way harder to get than iron with this here iron farm. And I'm using this design that I found on the internet like, I don't know, 4 years ago for like 1.16. And I'm basically just going to put a clock in that, and it's going to spit water out every now and then, and it'll drop all the mobs inside it, spiders and creepers, down into a collection chamber down at the bottom, and it'll kill them, and then we'll collect all their stuff. And that'll basically just be the farm. So it's basically done now. I just have to hook up some redstone. I have to hook up some other stuff, and I'll get to that in a bit. First, though, I kind of want to talk about this number that you're seeing up at the top, 3118. It's going up really fast, I think, on the episode. So I think this is episode 3, and we're already at 3,118 blocks, right? That is not going to keep happening. So essentially how this pack works is that number up there, and I think I've said this before, but it gets harder to increase over time. So if I can find, let's see if I have, yes, a stack of gold blocks, perfect. So this is a stack of gold blocks, and about a week ago, this would have been an expansion, or 2 or 3 expansions all at once, but now I throw a stack in, and it's half an expansion, right? So over time, the gold farm is getting less and less efficient, and you can see I have 423 levels, so I've been AFKing there. I had like some stuff to do today, so I just like forgot myself AFK'd at the gold farm. I come back, I have 423 levels, but that whole thing only gave us like 250 or 300 blocks of expansion. So it gets slower over time. So the gold farm is the best thing we can have right now, I believe. I've done some rebalancing of the data pack, but I still think that the gold farm is probably the best source of BP that we can get until we hit the end, which we have found. The Eyes of Ender will now throw. I think this is something to do with the server, because I think in like regular vanilla servers that aren't like paper, this is a paper server. I think they normally let you just throw these. But with, I gotta fill in this. I've been kind of putskiing around and filling in creeper holes, so I gotta keep doing that. But yeah, so now it's probably around 2,500, or I guess, no, 1,500 blocks out, because it only goes to half the size of the world border. But if you want to see us going to the end and killing the Ender Dragon, and hopefully finding some shulker boxes, then you'll want to tune in to the next stream, which will be coming out later today. So make sure you check that out, The Wicked Tyrant live. And I'll see you guys in that. So I've got a plan now for the next little bit of the episode, and that is I have this new like planning system I'm going to try and use because I think it'll be neat to use Minecraft to plan stuff. So I want to kind of create a nice, easy to look at thing that tells me what I should be doing. And so I'll have this main thing that has like, you know, all the stuff that I have upcoming and long-term projects, right? And then I can go and find more details on those through here. So this is the village project. And then right now, this is talking about the library, which is probably going to be the first one I do, because the library is going to be what holds this. And so as I go on, I'll just add more stuff. So for instance, I would add like, so the next one I would add would be a smithing place, smithing hall. right? And then I would add 1, 2, yada yada, all the details that I want in the smithing hall, right? And so, I'll do that off camera, but you get the picture. I did a little bit of it on stream, but right now I want to get, the first thing I want to do is get the planning area done, which needs the library um, from the village project. So that's going to be what we're going to be doing next, because I want to have this basically stored in a nicer spot, and I want to start getting rid of all of this stuff. So I think every episode I'm going to try and do one thing that takes this whole section here, minus those farms, this whole section, and delegates it to a certain area, right? Or removes it entirely, right? So right now, this episode, let's get a library built. All right, so I'm going to come right out and say that I'm not very good at building, but I think this is going to be the general shapes. We're going to have like a little introduction desk thing here. And then we're going to have this area. I'm going to like level this obviously, but I will have a basement, so I'm not going to fill this in completely. I'll leave it hollow. I'm probably going to have a second floor as well. So this will be a 3-floor building in total. And now that I think of it, this probably will take more than one episode, but we'll see what I can get done here. Now, I think what I want to do is I'll have 2 floors. So the top 2 floors will have books and librarian villagers in them so that we can get book trades. And I think I'm going to have them locked down. I don't think I'm going to let them free roam because that would be terrible. You would never be able to find anything ever. But then on the bottom layer is where I'm going to have actual storage and redstone stuff. So I think that's going to be a common theme here, is that my redstone stuff will take place underground and my building stuff will be taking place above ground. Alright, so this is kind of what I got so far. I don't know how much I like having this brown mushroom here, but what I think the plan is just build, because I think a lot of the time I kind of just get hung up on building too well and I get too perfectionist, and so I just don't ever end up building. So I think it's gonna be good for me to just kind of go at it and just build as I do, and just see where it takes me, like not really worry too much about necessarily what it looks like, if it's good or bad, and just see what comes out. Okay, so I got a little bit done here. I got some like doorways here. I accidentally built it even, but I think that's okay because all I have to do to counter that is just kind of do, if I just split it in half and then do 2 symmetrical sides and then have them join like this, that'll work. It should work. And then here, I'm gonna do something to put more detail on the walls, but I'm not really too worried about it. I decided to use mud bricks, just because I think that, even though I got the mushrooms to do it, I honestly just think that the brown mushrooms just don't look very nice, like, for this at least. So, like, if I build this out here, let's do that. I'll leave the ones in the middle, even though that might ruin the effect. Right? Like, it's just too, like, clean. I don't know how to say it. It's just too clean. There's not enough texture. And then building things on top of it, I don't think there's many things that go with this texture that look structurally nice and appealing. So I think I took that off. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just think that for a library look, I don't know if I necessarily like it that much. And I'm using these 2 wide corners here, or these like 2-piece corners instead of just my normal one that I use. And yeah, so now I'm gonna start building out these walls, and I think what I'm gonna do, so I've got this like tiled flooring in here. I don't know if I really like it because it kind of looks like a little squiggly, but I'm gonna leave it there for a bit because maybe it'll grow on me. And I don't know if I'm gonna use it in this main room here. Okay, so I don't normally use jungle wood, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically blanket this whole thing in jungle wood. And my goal is going to be to cover it up, because I think in small points like this, it actually looks okay. And I think it kind of fits with the countering to these tones here. And I think it'll fit with bookshelves when I throw them in here. I think it'll fit with the tone of the building. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically fill this with jungle planks. And then I'm going to make my paths have an outline of oak. and then I'll see if I can fit in some bookshelves, and then I'll probably put in some villagers along the wall. I don't think I'm going to have all the villagers, like all the librarians, so I'm probably not going to have every single enchantment in this building. I don't really need every enchantment. Like, I don't think I really care to have a Bane of Arthropods 5 or, like, whatever, right? I'm going to go for the core tools and weapons enchants. And then I'm also going to go for trident enchants, but I'm not going to worry about crossbow enchants because I don't use a crossbow. And I'm not going to worry about, like, well, making sure everything's perfect, really. In the past, I've always tried to get every single enchantment, and it's not really, like, worked for me, because then I end up becoming the enchantment guy on the server, and then everyone's always like, hey, can I buy some enchantments off you? And I'm like, normally I'm, like, down to make a huge profit off of other people wanting to be lazy, but I would like to be lazy for once. I don't like having to run an enchanting business because it's always just me going and getting enchants and stuff like that, and it's never like any fun anymore. So I'm just gonna be doing enchantments for me this time around, and yeah, I'll store whichever enchantment villagers I need in this place, and then underneath is where I'm gonna have the storage. I'll have storage for each of them, and it'll be semi-automatic, so you basically just select which enchantment you want, and then it'll throw it into that spot. So that's good. Alright, so as I suspected, it immediately looks really bad, but I think it'll come together. I think it'll come together when I start adding more things here. So I'm just going to have to trust that this will work out. If it doesn't, I can always replace it. It'll just be kind of a hassle. I'm just hoping that this is the right choice here. But let's get working on this wall here. And I think for now, I'm just going to fill it in with mud bricks and see where that takes me. I'll probably do some adding of more materials to the outside here. But for now, let's just do this. Okay, so having put the wall down, I'm noticing immediately, because I raised up this land, I'm going to have to do something about this, and I think it's a little too steep to just, like, terraform. Like, I could do it, but I think there's also an element of, like, building with my surroundings, so I pulled this out a little bit just so I don't have to deal with this side. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put deep slate under here, not, like, at this level, but this level here. And I think if I put deep slate here, then it'll kind of look more like it's a foundation, I hope? I'm not too sure. We'll see. Okay, so I've put down 4 different blocks that I'd be willing to use here, I think, that came up off the top of my head. And I think the best one is going to be the bricks, even though I'm reluctant to do them because it's like, it's always bricks, right? Or at least it's an easy trap to fall into. However, well, I guess I did use bricks over there too. And here, and you know what? Look, I'm a simple man. I use bricks. However, the deep slate bricks look really nice, and so I think that there's, like, you know, definitely the opportunity to fall into a trap there of only ever really using the bricks, the deep slate bricks, instead of any other building materials. So I want to try and make other materials here, or use other materials. And for now, I'm using mud bricks because I don't think I've ever actually built with them before. I know I, like, always use it in my, like, redstone worlds, but, like, to scaffold redstone and stuff like that. But, I think here it's gonna look nice, and I think it kind of suits the exterior of the library feel, I hope. And then after this, I don't know what else I'm really gonna use mud bricks for in this village. Like, I don't think I'm gonna use it for any of the common housing. I think I'll maybe use it for one of the other, like, district halls or something, or like one of the district halls or something. But I think for the most part, I won't really be given the opportunity to use mud bricks, so I wanted to use them here, just because I think it will turn out well. It also just occurred to me that I could be using deep slate tiles. I totally forgot about these things. I normally just stop at the bricks, but I think that'll work too. I think it will. I just have to remember, I don't want to go in, even though I think it looks a little bit weird. I'll have to do something here. I think what I'll do is I'll have, like, a window into the basement here. But I basically need to have something that holds up this, because this is the bit that goes around the library before the wall here. So this kind of looks like well, it looks kind of like it's part of like the foundation or something like that. Like it's part of the house. It'll be really weird for it to just be floating here. But I think I will go with the deep slate tiles because I think that looks, if not nicer, at least different to this, which is, I think, too clean. All right, so I don't know how I feel about these windows. I think I am okay with it. What I want to do is I want to have another floor here, but I want it to come out a little bit. So I'm going to have these pillars here. I'm going to have them, and honestly, I don't know if I feel better or worse with having this be a different size than those, but you know what, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to have this come out like an extra couple blocks. So let me just come up here. It's going to probably come out like here. And then there'll be like a balcony that comes out here, not necessarily with dark oak. Um, and then from the balcony, that'll be like one more floor, and then there'll be a roof here. And I think that'll look nice. I think that'll look really good. And then on the inside, I will have probably on either the sides or probably up the middle here, I'll have a staircase that comes up to the top floor, and then the top floor will ring around but not have the center here. So it will be like an open top floor. You can look down on all the bookshelves and stuff. And I think that'll look really nice. And then I think what I'll do is I'll probably have like, maybe I'll have like a secret entrance into the basement. I don't know if I want to do that as like a secret basement or like if I want to have it be like, you know, accessible from the other side here. Maybe I could go down. But it seems like it's that time. The episode is 30 minutes long, so I'm going to have to end the episode here. I'm going to try for the next episode to do a little less of the update stuff. You're just going to have to assume that we got quite a bit of progress done. I'll give you a little bit of updates, but I'm going to try and keep it to a minimum, and I'm going to try and get some more building, maybe some redstone projects done, and maybe a farm done or something like that. But try and get all of that done in one episode, rather than just trying to keep you updated on stuff. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and if you did, don't forget to smash that like button and that subscribe button if you feel like you want to see more content like this in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.